So yeah, let's get started. And I would love to know, like, where are you guys from? What time is it for you? Because I'm sure we are from all different time zone. So I'm currently in London. I just headed back from to the office from World Tour London. So we had World Tour London today. It was an amazing, huge event, and we do have MuleSoft meetup as well after the stream. So it's like a busy day for me. So how is it going with you? Like, where are you from? How is your summer going? And are you excited for today's stream? Because I'm sure we are having like a mixed population from Salesforce side, MuleSoft side, uh, Anypoint Experience Hub is altogether a new topic, right? A new product as well. So I am definitely excited because that is something totally new for me. And we are going to learn today from the product owners. So our guest, this very special guest whom I'll be introducing in some time. Meanwhile, yeah, let me see the responses. We have few people from Bombay, India. Yes, I'm from Bombay. I'm from Mumbai. I'm a born and brought up from Mumbai. And it's like, yeah. Okay, Julian, he's in Dallas currently. I guess you're vacationing, right? And we have a few more. We have a few from India, from Pune. Well, that's nice. We have from Brazil as well. Wide audience, as always. And that's what makes it more special, I guess. All right then. So with that, yeah, let me introduce myself. Myself, Akshata Sawant, and I'm currently working as a senior developer advocate at Salesforce. And yeah, I'm mainly at the MuleSoft side, but I'm learning Salesforce and I'm getting there slowly. So you have seen it recently, like previously on the MuleSoft stream where we spoke about batch processing. So if you haven't seen it, you can just go and check it out. And today it's all going to be about Anypoint Experience Hub. So if you have been cataloging APIs, I mean, all of us, we are dealing with APIs, right? Either developing APIs, consuming APIs. In some way or the other, we are associated with APIs, I can say. So this product is like, which is going to make your experience with APIs much more fascinating, I would say, because yeah, that's how actually it is. It's built on top of Experience Cloud, and rather than me explaining you about all of that, let's why not hear from the product owners itself, the product makers, like what they have to say and what new they are bringing in for us. And hang in there, just hold your questions for a while, and you can comment, you can have them in the comment sections, but we'll have a Q&A as well with them. So whatever questions you have about API Experience Hub, just get them along. Yeah. So I would like to bring up Jing Lee, who is like the director of product management, and she is behind the entire like API Experience Hub. Hello, hi Jing, how are you?
Hi, Akshata. I'm doing great. Thank you for
Okay,
asking.
great.
Very excited
S-
to be here today.
Yeah, and this is the first time, right? You're on a live stream as well. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
so
my very
excited to.
first live stream.
Amazing. We're so excited to have you on board. So, would you like to tell us something about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jing. I am a product manager here at Salesforce. I've been with MuleSoft for about 2.5 years, working on the API design and API consumption side. I live in San Francisco. I My favorite thing is that I love animals. I want to volunteer at the shelter on the weekends. I don't currently have the time, but during COVID, that's something that I really enjoyed doing.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I wasn't knowing about it. That's really nice. I mean, good to know. Cool. I think we can bring up Sue as well and we can introduce her. So, yeah, we also have Suhan with us, who is technical product manager, and she's also a close friend of mine. We usually discuss more about K dramas when we are free. Hi, Sue. Nice to have you
Hi.
here. Yeah, how are you feeling? And I think this is your first live stream as well,
Yeah,
right?
this is my first one too, and I'm excited to be here and do it with Akshita and Jing. Yeah.
So Sue usually works around the UAPIM platform side. So if you guys have any queries, because whenever I have some doubts about UAPIM, Sue is my go-to person for reviewing all my stuff and helping with me with my content. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so as Akshita said, my name is Sue. Yeah, I handle any technical marketing aspects of UAPIM as well as Runtime Fabric and Cloud Hub 2.0. And on my downtime, I really like to go bouldering at my closest rock gym. So it's basically rock climbing without rope, and I prefer that because I don't have to go as high as if I were on a rope. So yeah.
That sounds so exciting. Cool. So I'm sure like you guys have own content and everything planned up for today's session. So do you want to tell us like what maybe we can start with Jing. Jing, do you want to like tell us more about API Experience Hub and yeah, what has your experience been? Because I guess it's been like only 15 days that we released API Experience Hub, right?
Yeah,
And
we released officially on June 13th.
June 13th,
I
yeah,
will
I remember.
remember. Yeah, I will remember that date for a
Of
very
course.
long time. It took the team a lot of effort to get here, and we're very excited about the release. We've had some really great initial responses,
Wow.
because one of the things that we're focusing on for Experience Hub is that it's incredibly easy to use to get started. Right, a lot of our customers, a lot of MuleSoft customers might be familiar with this product that we also have called Anypoint Community Manager. With that product, there was quite a bit of a lengthy setup time, but it was extremely powerful. It allowed you to create beautifully branded and customized portals and share your APIs. With Experience Hub, we're really leaning this into this idea of being incredibly easy to use for admins, for developers. We're still built on top of Experience Cloud, so you can still take advantage of all of the wonderful customization and portal community features that Experience Cloud has to offer. But now to go from nothing to sharing APIs that you have in exchange in the portal, it takes less than 30 minutes. Some of our customers can do it in 15. So it's quite incredible.
Amazing. So, so what do you have like from your experience, like about, until now? Like, how has that been?
Yeah, I would say it's been pretty amazing to work with the product team and the engineering team, even before release and getting a sneak preview of the product itself. And
Yeah.
now that it's live, it's really neat to see how we've been already having MuleSoft community members create content and be able to demo it. And then we've also been showing it at different events like World Tour New York and World Tour London today, and just seeing the excitement that the customers have about being able to create an API ecosystem quickly and easily. Is really neat to see. And then I think personally for me too, as I was, going through the product itself, like even the first time, what was neat
Hmm.
is that I was able to stay on any point platform for most of the setup, as well as the API and user management, which means that it's, a user interface that as a MuleSoft person, like I'm very familiar with. So
Okay.
then and then be able to learn Salesforce Experience Cloud and be able to, customize however I want to is yeah, it's a learning process, but then
Yep.
it's a really fun learning process because I get to see the results right away as I drag and drop different components onto the pages.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
so true. Because even last week, like I mean, this week itself, I've been exploring AP Experience Hub, and it's fun, like how we can actually drag and drop the products, and we are still on the same platform, Anypoint platform, and we can still explore everything. Uh, I mean, that's something new and something more fancy, I feel, because traditionally it's been all about Exchange or Community Manager, and this is something new, something grand. So going ahead, like yeah, I would like to like hand it over all to Jing, and maybe you can just show us and tell us more about AP Experience Hub. I mean, I'm just super excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have something prepared.
Yeah, cool. Go ahead.
All right. Uh, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm really excited to tell you guys a little bit more about what API Experience Hub does. Sue is going to give a much more in-depth demo in a few minutes, so you could get a first-hand look at kind of what this end-to-end journey using Experience Hub looks like, how you set up a portal, and how you can add some custom branding elements and even blog and CMS. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end. With Anypoint Experience Hub, which we launched on June 13th, the idea is that you can take any API that you have built anywhere, and you could share them quickly with an audience of your choice through the portal. And you could build a number of portals, you can manage them, you could share them with any type of audience. We want to provide that flexibility to our users and our customers while still really retaining that focus on being as easy to use as possible. And we talk about Exchange a lot, right? Exchange, as many of you probably already know, is this consolidated catalog of APIs. You publish APIs into Exchange that you build on Anypoint, but you can also now, with the catalog CLI, publish APIs that are built anywhere using any kind of tool that's running on any platform. It enables you to view APIs, to see governance results. There is a console where you can navigate and test the API. But what we're really solving for is, now that I have this catalog, how do I provide a centralized place where everybody that I want to be able to share this API with, whether it's someone that's internal to my organization, if this API is only supposed to be used for internal purposes, or for some of our users and our customers, they want to be able to share this API widely out to everybody on the internet. So they're not going to be able to give them access to Exchange, but they want to be able to share this API both internally and externally. So we want to be able to give our customers a consolidated single source of truth where they have a single marketplace that all of their users, internal and external, are coming in. We want to be able to drastically reduce the expertise and the amount of time and maintenance that it takes to create these portals. So it's a no-code experience. You can do it with clicks. You could drag and drop, which Sue will show you later. And it also comes with out-of-the-box support capabilities where you can have people engage each other in conversation and learn how to use the API. You can add elements to create support tickets. There's a lot of different ways that Salesforce Experience Cloud and Salesforce in general allows you to engage with other users through some of these pre-built components like forums and blogs and the ability to share additional content. And so with API Experience Hub, the goal is to take all of this goodness that Salesforce Experience Cloud has to offer, combine it with this centralized catalog that Exchange is already acting as, and allow our customers and our users to build personalized branded portals through a very simple guided drag and drop experience that they can then scale and grow however they want, and provide to their audience a single source of truth where they could come in, learn about APIs, consume them, test them, request access. And and you'll see Sue go into this in more detail. We have a starter template with a quick guided setup that you can walk through step by step. You can do some of your basic customizations here, and you can see this reflected in the preview. Later on, you can then continue to customize and brand and add the components that Salesforce makes available, like CMS, like blogs and forums, and news articles, things that you want to really use to put additional flavor into your portals and share new and interesting ways of interacting with the APIs, maybe even marketing content on your portal. These are all things that Experience Cloud provides out of the box. We also provide the capability of letting you take all of the set assets that you have in Exchange, and you can selectively curate which APIs you want your end users to interact with. There's a lot of assets in Exchange. Maybe some of you have hundreds, some of you have thousands. Maybe you don't want people to be able to interact with all of them because that does sometimes hinder the discoverability of the assets that you do want them to use. So then you can selectively curate APIs and even API versions that you want your end users to be able to engage with to make that discovery a little bit easier. And this way, through this mechanism, you can also share APIs with specific audiences. So you can control which APIs you want to be able to share with which type of audience. Maybe you have different teams. Maybe you want to differentiate between internal and external consumers. This will allow you to control the API visibility through different audiences. And for the developer that's coming in to consume the API, they have all of the same capabilities and the same goodness that Exchange offers today. They can navigate and browse the API. There's automatically generated documentation. They can use the mocking service in the try panel to test the API. They can request access and download the API spec. And this, ideally, the goal is to help our customers and our users create valuable API products that get a lot of reuse, and their audience gets a lot of value out of, and they can connect the people that are creating these APIs and the people that are consuming these APIs and continue to iterate and grow adoption of the APIs. We have a lot of different use cases. Portal use cases are far and wide. Even with ACM, we saw a lot of different customers create financial portals, create health and life science portals, public sector customers creating portals that let the public use their APIs to see what their utility usage is. Anything that you have a use case where you have an API or you have multiple APIs and you want to be able to enable some audience to participate in the consumption and sharing of these APIs, an API portal can support that use case. If you have more complex use cases, the portal can likely support them as well, but that may involve a little bit more investigation and upfront planning to see the type of portal that you want to build. So I hope this was a helpful overview of what the product does. And I think the really interesting part is going to come from Sue, who will give you a live preview of what the product currently does and how you can use it.
Yeah, definitely that was an interesting one. And I'm actually looking ahead for like demo from Sue so we can get there and we can I'm actually having so many questions, but let's wait for Sue to complete her demo. So here you go, Sue.
Awesome. So I will get started on the demo.
Yeah.
Just to give us, an example to anchor on, I
Mhm.
have an NTO. I'm sure many of you have heard of this fictitious outdoors retails company. And we have Peter here today. And Peter works at NTO, has basic IT skills, and he's been charged with creating a developer portal where their vendors, partners, and customers can go ahead and access different APIs that are created and managed by NTO. And then we have Heidi. And Heidi is a vendor that works with NTO, and she's a software developer. She's very familiar with APIs and being able to integrate them into her applications. And she's tasked to automate shipping orders that comes in from NTO. So let's see what kind of journey we'll be going through today. So first, Peter will be creating a new portal, and then he will publish new APIs, and then Heidi will be able to browse through it and then sign up for an account. And then afterwards, we'll see how Peter can approve that sign up request and how Heidi can go ahead and get the access that she needs. And then lastly, we'll go ahead and see how we can further customize the API portal. Um, and actually, I see the quote comment. We don't need a forward-looking statement because all of this is live in GA as of 15 days ago. So we can get started. So the first step, Peter will go ahead and create a new API portal, and he can do that by going to Anypoint platform. And if you're a MuleSoft user, you'll see that we've basically yesterday updated the homepage to this new shiny front page that you can go ahead and find different features and products that Anypoint platform holds. Those of you who don't know what Anypoint platform is, it's basically where you can go ahead and design, develop, deploy, manage, secure, govern, basically the full API lifecycle and integration. You can all do it all from this platform. And so here we can go ahead and find API Experience Hub. This is where Peter wants to go and create his portal. And when you first go onto this page, it actually gives you an overview of the four major steps that you need to go ahead and get your portal up and running. Um, and so the first thing we'll do is connect to Salesforce. And the reason why we're connecting to Salesforce is because, as Jing mentioned, Experience Hub is built on Salesforce Experience Cloud. So the portal itself um, pulls in the power of Experience Cloud to go ahead and so that you can take full advantage of all that the Experience Cloud offers and take advantage of the builder, components, and the app exchange. It all comes with Salesforce. So to get started, all you have to do really is just log in to your Salesforce org. This can be your existing Salesforce org that you're bringing in, or it could be a new developer org or another org that you might have. So once you log in, I've already accepted permissions, but it will typically show you allow different permissions. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and get it set up to connect to Salesforce Experience Cloud. Um, so typically, this process can take up to 10 minutes, but um, what I've done is I've actually, so that you're not all sitting here waiting for me. Well, this is done, but when you first do it, first time you do it, it might take up to 5 to 10 minutes. So we can go ahead and continue on to step two. So in step two, this is where um, you can update this template that Experience Hub comes with to your brand's logo, images, branding, and font, color, all of that. So these are very simple changes that you can make to from out of the gate as soon as you publish, make it look like your brand's look and feel. And there's 3 pages that Experience Hub comes with that you can go ahead and customize during this style your portal step. So this is step number 2. So what I can do, well, I actually like the image and the logo fits NTO, so I'll leave it there, but I can change my font colors. Obviously, you don't want Comic Sans for your brand, but if you do, there it is. You can choose different fonts, change colors as you need, and then also change background colors. And then I can change it to APIs ecosystem demo. So as you can see, as I make the changes, I can see what it's going to look like. So it really, even if I'm not the best web designer or web developer, I'm able to do it, all with clicks and typing. So then I'll go to the next page. And the next page is where you get to style your catalog page. So you might have different types of APIs that live in your Anypoint exchange. And as Jing mentioned, that's more marketplace for your internal users to go ahead and find APIs as well as different connectors, examples, and templates that MuleSoft provides you for creating APIs and integrations. Um, but as it pulls in all those information and you determine which APIs to put out, it will go ahead and put it on this nice catalog page, and you can change the colors for these two depending on your branding. Um, so yeah, so it just gives you a lot of flexibility to ensure that when it's out of the gate, out of as soon as you publish, it looks like um, your company's page. And then lastly this is where you can go in and learn more about API details, and you can change the title and description here. Once that's done, you can go ahead and set up your portal. So this process could take a few minutes. Um, so instead of waiting for it to finish, I've actually gone ahead and created a portal. Um, and created a portal and put it So I created a portal and I've already put in 2 APIs here. But let's go ahead and add APIs from Exchange. So in this particular org, I have all of these APIs that is currently only available to internal users. So I want to add an API here. So this is where Peter can go in, add an API. So we'll choose a shipping API. And then once it's added, we can go to this tab and change visibility. And visibility essentially means determining who gets to see this API when they're on the portal. Is it going to be an admin or everyone? So anyone who has access to the URL, can they see it? Or is it only for members? And members are those who have login information such as username and password and have been approved by the Experience Hub admin to be able to have that login in the first place. So I can choose that for different versions that I have. So I want everyone to see it, but maybe only members for older versions. And then also determine what type of instances that we have. And instance in this case is an API that's managed by Anypoint on an API manager where you can put on policies, SLAs, and contracts so that you can go ahead and secure your APIs. Um, so I think I have to do all instances for this one. So, so this is how we have the three APIs. So now going back to this roadmap that we have, Peter has gone ahead and created a new API portal and then also published a new API to the public developer portal. Now let's see how Heidi can go ahead and browse the public API catalog and sign up for an account. So, so this is the portal itself. I've already gone ahead and published it, and later we'll go back to see how we can further customize it with Experience Cloud Builder. So right now, Heidi can only see, let me refresh, shipping API. So Heidi can go look at the details, see what it's about, look at the specification, and even download the specs. And she can even try it out using the mocking service right here. She's like, okay, this is the information that I need. These are what information I need to give to the API. And because this is already built out, she wants access to it instead of doing it from scratch, right? So then to gain access to this API, what Heidi can do is go ahead and create, request access to it by joining the community. So Heidi, um, so then she can go ahead and sign up. So now that Heidi is done, what Peter can do now is go ahead and approve the sign up request. And he can do that by going back into Anypoint platform. So this is where Peter is, basically living in, so that he can manage the APIs, but then he can also manage the users. So going into the pending request, we can see Heidi demo. So the person that I just request access for. And then here, Peter can approve or reject depending on whether or not he knows that person and if she's allowed to go ahead and access the portal. But Peter knows Heidi, and she's on the approved list, so he goes ahead and approves her. And then now what this will do is this will send an email to Heidi asking her to create a password. And then from there, Heidi can go ahead and let's log in. So let's say that we've looked at my email, created a password. Then Heidi can then log in. And once she's logged in, she can see more APIs, the ones that are available to the members. And then for the shipping API that she wants, she can now go ahead and request access. So previously, when she wasn't logged in, she wasn't able to request access to the API that's already running and managed by NTO. But now, with her login information, she's able to go ahead and request access by putting in the version as well as creating a new client application. So you can say Heidi vendor and then choose different SLA tiers that's been already set up for this API. And what's neat is that with Anypoint platform, you can set up your SLA tiers to either approve automatically or manually. So you can go through that process of determining, okay, let's say for platinum, we want to make sure this is the proper user that's requesting this access and you want manual approval, you can set up and do that. So for today, for shipping API, we have free one set up where you get automatic access. And from here, Heidi is able to get client ID and client secret. So then she can now integrate this API into any of her applications and projects that she's working on to ensure that she gets proper NTO shipping information to create that cohesiveness between Heidi's company as well as NTO. So now that you've kind of seen what it looks like at a very basic level, so taking creating an API portal and then adding nothing to it, but we still have this fully functioning API portal with a home page, a catalog page, and then seeing specific documentation, and then once you've also um, made request, Heidi can also keep track of all of her credentials. So then how can we further customize this so that it becomes even more like NTO and then drive user adoption and creating that developer community that you need to create a really thriving API ecosystem? So you kind of see it here. So back here, Peter can go ahead and click preview and publish your portal. And then it will use a shared account to get into Experience Cloud so you can make the changes. Um, so what I want to do today is to create a page where it has articles and contents related to my APIs or API ecosystem so that when a user comes in and they want to know a little bit more about our company, NTO, or they want to learn particularly about certain types of APIs that we have, they have set of resources that they can go on this particular website. So what we can do is first, I'm going to create a new page called news page. News page. And then I'll go ahead and create it, and it will create a really blank page for me. And in the background, because this is built on my Salesforce Experience Cloud, and I have a content management system that I use on Salesforce, what I can do is I can pull in the CMS collection. So let me add my collection here. That's Developer Portal News. And once it's done, it will show me I can go ahead and change the content layout so that we can see, set up the field mappings to show the title of each page, and then for the background to show the banner image. So from here, right, this will go to a particular page for that article. So to set up that particular page, because right now when I go into preview and click view, it takes me to an empty page. So now I can also customize this news detail page so that when a user or a developer goes in and looks at this article, they can see the full article. So let's go ahead and do that real quickly. Um, Feature, image, and body. Oh, okay, there we go. Um, yeah, so very quickly with drag and drop, I was able to set up this page with blog details as well as catalog. And lastly, I need somehow for the developers to know that this page exists. So let's add it to our navigation system and call it news portal. Um, and then we'll make it publicly available. Let's see. Site page, and then news page. So when I save it, and now when I preview it and I go to news portal, it will take me to this catalog. So there's many other components that Experience Cloud comes with that allows you to set up feeds, be able to create support cases or have topics, and even comes with other components that Experience Hub provides so that you can further customize like this and add more components and more features to make this developer portal something that your company is looking for and that your developers and external developers want. And one thing that I'm not showing here today is that you can also pull in components or build your own custom components through like a Lightning Web component so that you can create custom um, features or sets of interactive use cases that you can put on this Experience Hub portal. So once this is published, it will go ahead and update the API portal. So that is the demo that I have um, prepared for you today. Hopefully, it just kind of gave you an idea of two types of people who can utilize an Experience Hub. One is an IT specialist or an API product manager who needs to set up a developer portal and provide that one-stop shop for API operations. But then also for those who are consuming these APIs, they can do so with self-service and also use the interactive engagements to connect with the API provider. So in this case, NTO, and to the wider community as you add like different features such as forums and feeds. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I believe we're going to answer them right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was such an amazing demo, Sue. I mean, I loved it. And there's so much more that I think that I have to try out now because I've just explored the basic stuff. I mean, how to create a portal, how to publish it out, but then you have shown me like so many other things. And I've got so many questions, but I think I'll just hold my horses because we have so many questions in chat which we have to take up. So we can maybe take them up one by one because, yeah, so we have the first one like, can we enable SSO to Commerce Cloud using the APIs?
I'm not 100% sure how to answer this question. Um, you, if I interpret it correctly,
Yeah.
you will be able to enable SSO on the site, on the portal itself. The feature is not yet available with GA, but it's coming very soon. So you
Hmm.
can enable SSO through the portal. And if you have the same SSO set up for Commerce Cloud as well, and you have a Commerce Cloud site and this API portal, your developers will be able to log in with the same SSO to both places.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We have the next one as well from Shantanu Roy. And it says that why Peter has to approve Hades' request and Experience Cloud upon a registration. What if the requirement is self registration of the customer? So, this is about our use case.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways that you can enable registration. The one that Sue just showed is
Mhm.
a manually approved registration, because some of our customers have sensitive portals and they don't want to automatically approve any external registration.
Mhm.
Um, the next one is, in the future, you'll be able to enable SSO. So if you have internal developers, they can just log in with either your identity provider SSO, or even with their Anypoint credentials if they already have an Anypoint account. And then the third one that we will enable soon in the future is to have automatically approved external registration. So right
Okay.
now, what you saw in Sue's demo is someone has to go in and
Mhm.
accept that
Accept.
registration. But in the future, we will have a configuration as a part of our login where if you want to automatically accept any external registration, that will also be possible. So this is a use case that will be enabled in Experience Hub very soon.
That's really cool. Usually we have these features when we are using some DevOps pipeline or something where we automatically accept the build pipeline, right? That's when I've
Mhm.
seen it. Cool. The next one from Tech Lead Automation, like can we set it up on a custom Heroku website? No, right? I think this is only limited for any point platform as of now. Yeah, cool. The next one again from Shantanu Roy. I can understand where API managed users will have provision, then this will come into picture. Is there any other use case? So yeah, I would love to know more about other use cases as well, because this is more about API cataloging. I think we can bring into picture the API monetization part as well.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different use cases that you can
Mhm.
enable with Experience Hub. Um, the most basic that I think people have already talked about is if you just want to share APIs that you have. A lot of our customers, right, because they have hundreds or thousands of users, and they don't want to give everybody access to Exchange,
Access.
because giving them access to Exchange has comes with a variety of other challenges, and there might be assets you don't want them to see in there. So they create an internal portal and they provide
Oh.
SSO access to every single developer in their organization. So you have all 5, 10,000 developers that are part of your organization using the portal to access their internal APIs. Now, the next step is if you want to have um, APIs that you sell to your external users, you can package them up. You can have single APIs that are shared in the portal. You could share groups of APIs if you want to create API groups in API Manager. Um, and that's how you would productize those APIs. You create custom documentation, you create some marketing, you can then share those as a specific API page inside the portal.
Mhm.
We don't right now have native API monetization out of the box, but we work with a number of partners
Partners.
that provide API monetization capabilities. So when you request access, you can, when instead of just selecting in the Sue's demo, she's selecting a specific SLA tier, right? But if you have
Oh.
monetization enabled through one of our partners, you can actually select, how much of a paid, the admin can set how much, what the tiers of payment are. And then when
Mhm.
the user requests access, they can select, okay, I want to pay for 5,000 API calls.
Oh. That's
Um,
actually cool because we are actually building up an API economy kind of. And I have been actually recently diving bit into the API monetization part, and that's quite fascinating, I would say. It's interesting.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's direct monetization. A lot of our customers choose to, because they sell their APIs to
Mhm.
their customers as a part of their
Uh-huh.
business, even if it's
Yep.
not directly monetized, they want to be able to create this place where it's, hey, I have 3 API products. It enables you to do these things. Here is my storefront, essentially, where you would go and you would see the latest updates for APIs. You would go to get help and support and information about these APIs. So, but they've already sold these APIs to their customers through
Customers.
another contract, right? So it serves as an indirect monetization use
Indirect
case where it's still
monetization.
serving as your storefront, but someone's not swiping a credit card to get access to that API.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool then. The next one, what would be the perfect use case for any point experience hub? Can we manipulate access of the customer partners using the API tool? I think we can manipulate the access. We just said about it. And the perfect use case, the one being the API catalog, API monetization part. Anything else that you guys want to bring up?
I think the beauty of the Experience Hub is that it supports so many different use cases.
Mm-hmm.
So you can create, because you can have sharing based on audiences. You could create a single portal that serves both internal and external audiences, where external people see fewer APIs or different APIs than your internal audience. But because Experience Cloud enables us to support up to 100 portals, different
Mm-hmm.
teams can build their own portals and
Yep.
share just their specific APIs, and they can manage their own APIs. They can manage the versions that they want to share. They can manage the access of users and access requests of just those APIs. So depending on how you want to configure who manages those APIs, who gets to have control over the content in the portal, you can have one large marketplace for everybody, or you can have individual marketplaces for your different teams. That does make discovering a little bit harder because you don't have a centralized marketplace, but it totally depends on how you want to be able to segment your users.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. The next one, it's again related to Aura, runtime, and LWR. I'm not sure what LWR is. I've just, I mean, I'm still getting there on the Salesforce side. So yeah, the question is also, can it run on both Aura runtime and LWR?
Unfortunately, not currently. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, it's an Aura site, so it runs only on Aura. In the future,
Mm-hmm.
we do want to support Lightning Web Runtime, but with the current version of the product, it's not supported.
Cool. The next one is also similar from Migesh. Can we add some LWC components in the Experience Hub Cloud, like how standard Experience Cloud supports?
Yeah, I think Sue demoed this perfectly in her
Perfectly, yeah,
as a part of her demo. Yeah.
that's true. So the next one from Shiva. Does the Experience Hub option is available for GA? I can't see at any point. Yeah, it's available for GA. It went GA on 13 June. It's not available on the trial account. You need to request access for it. Proper licensing thing, right? You want to add something about it? Jing? Yeah.
Yeah, Experience Hub at this point, you will have to, like Akshata said, that you have to request access. So
Mhm.
if you have an account representative that you're working with as a part of your company, reach out to them to enable that license so that you can start using Experience Hub in your Anypoint.
Okay. Apart from that, yeah, there's this one from Mikesh. How can an organization decide to go for which product? Which product, as in, like, okay, there's a continuation of the question. So I had seen a small demo on API Community Manager and how API Experience Hub is different. So I guess we have seen the comparison today. I mean, how different it is. But yeah, you can tell about it.
Sure. I actually at some point would love to hear Sue's comments because I'm sure
Comments.
she's done technical demos for both.
Yeah,
But one of the core differences that you saw in what she showed is how much easier it is to set up.
true.
Right? It's an entirely no code experience. It's very
Hmm.
click based. You can continue to customize it with Experience Cloud if you want.
Uh-huh.
We do have all of the ways that you could write your own components. You can use Salesforce components. You could use the CSS classes that we offer to skin the components that we provide to however you want the look and feel to be. And then the other main part of it is that we've moved the management experience into Anypoint.
Oh,
So for our users that are familiar with, publishing APIs to Exchange, designing APIs in Designer, deploying them using Cloud Hub API Manager, the same experience exists now in Anypoint. You can go and create your portal and manage your APIs. But yeah, so what do you think?
Yeah, I think the main difference is the fact that you can now manage your APIs and users from any point platform.
mm-hmm.
So if we think about this, like the person who's creating the developer portal are probably API product managers or API managers or security people who are already familiar with any point platform, but then they
Platform.
might not be as familiar with Salesforce settings or backgrounds. So then what we've done with Experience Hub is make it simpler, like that process simpler for the main users who need to, add or take down APIs or approve different user requests. And that's to be honest, the main difference, when you look at the end product itself, it will probably look the same, but the experience that you have setting it up as well as managing it is now a lot simpler with Experience Hub. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We also have a good feedback for like the API experience portal looks promising. It gives great experience for API lifecycle. Thank you. Thanks to Tech Lead Automation. And that's followed by a question like in which scenario we should be using. So I guess we have discussed this a couple of times about the scenarios, the use cases which we should be using. And I guess so. I mean, not I guess, definitely. So your demo was like perfect, and that's something we can be using it as a reference, something which we are like if you're exploring any point, I mean, API Experience Hub. So yeah, that's definitely a good one. Apart from this, yeah, I do have some questions. Like, what kind of API sharing best practices do you guys recommend?
For API sharing, I think it heavily depends on what kind of portal you're building. But we
Mm-hmm.
always recommend that anytime you prepare an API for reuse and consumption, I you should take care to make sure that it has, even though the API console does generate automatically some documentation and code snippets, you should also take care to create some additional helpful documentation so that developers that are looking at this API understand what is the use case of the API, when should I be using it, how should I be consuming it, are there any limits to it that may be not captured in the API specification. um, I think these are best practices for, let's call them like cleaning up or sanitizing or productizing the
Sanitizing.
API, you know, that make it really easy for the end consumer to come in, see what's available, and then learn if the API that they're looking at is relevant to their use case. That's really something that we can pull out of the spec. We would love to in the future, but
Mhm.
I think that
Yep.
that would be a best practice to make sure that your APIs are getting the reuse that they deserve.
Yeah, and I
True.
think another thing is with universal API management, like it's not just about your APIs that you're building within Anypoint platform. It's also any API that you're developing outside of it too. So it could be on your, you know, AWS ecosystem or other cloud services. But what's neat is that you can bring all of those API information into Exchange and therefore also be able to have that one single place for internally too. But then as you add those APIs into Exchange, you can bring them into Experience Hub so that your customer or your developer doesn't have to go to multiple places to find all the APIs that you have. They can just come to this one portal. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So we have one more, I mean, few more questions, not one more. So also, are there any options to view key metrics on API usage, API calls, etc.?
Hmm.
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
this is something that we're really excited to offer later this year.
Yeah.
Right now, well, maybe this is a secret, but Exchange soon will be offering the ability to view some reuse metrics, and we hope in the very near future that in Experience Hub you can see a dashboard and drill down into who's using my API, how many users are logging into the portal, what are some of the APIs that are getting the highest views and the most requests.
Hmm.
Because a part of the portal is you want to be able to promote APIs that are getting the most access, right? You want to make sure that the ones that are, let's say, the stars of the portal are really getting the attention that they deserve. And
Yep.
sharing these metrics, we think, will really help the admins of the portal understand and continue to evangelize those APIs that people want to reuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. One more from Shantanu Roy. The user who's authenticating to Experience Cloud, will the user has present in Salesforce integration user or as a system admin?
This user, the one that's authenticating, is a
Authenticating.
system admin.
It's an
Yeah.
admin.
We provide the licenses as a part of the product
Hmm.
for that first user to be a system admin inside of Salesforce,
Hmm.
so that they can create the connectivity. Once they have created the connectivity,
Okay.
we have a shared user that they can then continue to navigate to Experience Cloud every time from any point. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be the same sysadmin every time.
Cool. The next one, can it manage both AQI documentation and API engagement?
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not really sure what exactly this means, but you can definitely share APIs. You can manage different versions. You can manage the different instances. Something that we don't yet have that we hope to add sometime in the future is
Hmm.
when you add specific pages of documentation in Exchange, some of those may be targeted towards different people. Um, but uh, in the portal, we want our customers to be able to select, if I have 10 pages of Markdown, I only want to share one in the portal. Right now, any of your Markdown documentation
Markdown.
that's published into Exchange will be shared to the portal. So there is a little bit of a absolute innovation we could add there.
Okay, cool. So, there's the next one. So, all these calls are aligned with the Salesforce governor limit, and API Hub possesses its own governor limit.
We Because we're running in a Salesforce org,
Hmm.
we are also subject to the Salesforce API call limits
Okay.
as a part of the Salesforce organization. But the product does provide some additional limits so that we're not consuming all of the limits that are already present in your Salesforce organization.
Okay. And the last one, is there any trial version available for developers or partners that we can utilize?
Not at this time. For partners, you can reach out to your partner
Partner
liaison,
manager. Okay.
and they will be able to request that license for you. For developers, if your company already uses Anypoint, you can, like I said before, reach out to your account liaison, and they'll be able to enable that license for you. Um, right now, it's not a part of the Anypoint trial process.
Cool. I think we're almost done with our questions, and that was really amazing demo and entire session as well. What are your experience? Is there anything else you would like to add?
Um, nope,
I don't think so. Yeah.
just go
I
try
think
it out. Talk
I
to your liaison.
yeah, I think we have covered almost everything, and that's going to be like a good reference if anyone wants to work with Anypoint Experience Hub going ahead. I think we can wrap up with this, and do let us know how did you guys find it out. See you at the next stream, next Thursday, next same time, and yeah, bye bye. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Thanks for having us.
everyone.
Bye.